Kindness is the ultimate luxury of the powerful. For the weak, it is a cage. The world does not reward good people. It consumes them. You have spent your entire life believing that if you are soft, the world will be soft in return. You have been told that being nice is a virtue, a path to being liked, a way to build a stable life. This is the ultimate lie. Society feeds this lie to the masses because a world full of nice people is a world that is easy to manage, easy to predict, and easy to exploit. Here is the brutal truth. What you call niceness is usually just a mask for your fear of conflict. What you call politeness is often just a lack of options. You aren't being a good person, you are being a convenient person. And in the hierarchy of human value, the convenient are always the first to be discarded. You feel it already. You feel the invisible weight of being overlooked. You see others less qualified than you, less kind than you, taking the positions you want, command the rooms you sit in, and receiving the respect you crave. You are stuck in a cycle of silent resentment, wondering why your goodness hasn't yielded the life you were promised. This is the trap. You are playing a game with a rulebook written by people who want you to lose. If you continue down this path, you will not end up loved. You will end up invisible. You will be the person everyone likes, but no one respects. The person who is invited to the wedding, but forgotten in the boardroom. This script is not about becoming a villain. It is about becoming a sovereign. It is about reclaiming the power you have bled away through 1,000 tiny concessions. If you listen to the end, you will understand the hidden operating system of human respect. But understand this, once you see these mechanisms, you can never go back to the comfort of your ignorance. The change is irreversible. The cost of respect is the death of your nice self. Phase 1. The law of scarcity, the trap of instant availability. The moment you make yourself constantly available, you become a commodity. And commodities are always cheap. Most people believe that being helpful means being there whenever someone calls. You reply to texts within seconds, you say yes to every last-minute favor. You rearrange your schedule to accommodate the whims of people who wouldn't spend 5 minutes thinking about yours. You think you are proving your value. In reality, you're signaling that your time has no market price. Here is the paradox. Human beings do not value what is abundant. They value what is rare. In the ecology of power, the nice man who is always available is viewed as a resource to be used, like water from a tap. No one thanks the tap for providing water. They only get angry when it stops working. This is the trap of the supportive friend or the reliable employee. By being perpetually accessible, you have trained the people around you to believe that your life is less important than theirs. You have signaled that you have no mission, no vision, and no boundaries that are worth defending. Power is not about being busy. Power is about being selective. The sovereign understands that their presence is a prize, not a right. When you stop being instantly available, a strange psychological shift occurs in the minds of others. They begin to wonder what you are doing. They begin to value the moments they do have with you. They begin to perceive you as someone with a life that is moving in a direction they don't fully understand. This is not about playing games. This is about psychological hygiene. If you do not value your time, why should anyone else? If you are always there, you are nowhere. You are just background noise in the lives of the powerful. From this moment on, your yes must be earned. Silence is your default state. Availability is your leverage. If you want respect, you must first become expensive. Phase 2, the submissive tongue, the virus of chronic apologizing. I'm sorry to bother you. Sorry, just checking in. I'm sorry, can I ask a question? Listen to the language of the invisible. It is a language of constant, preemptive apology. You are apologizing for your thoughts, for your needs, and ultimately for your very existence. You believe that by apologizing, you are being polite. You think you are softening the blow or being considerate. This is the brutal truth. Every unnecessary apology is a micro-surrender of your status. It is a verbal signal that you believe you are an intruder in the world. When you apologize for things that are not your fault, or for simply taking up space, you are training people to see you as subordinate. You are giving them permission to blame you. You are handing them the whip and asking them to strike. In the eyes of a predator, and make no mistake, the social world is full of them. A chronic apologizer is a green light for exploitation. This is not politeness. This is submissiveness. High-status individuals rarely apologize for their presence. If they make a mistake, they acknowledge it, rectify it, and move on. They do not grovel. They do not use sorry as a filler word to bridge the gap between their fear and their speech. Think about the last time you saw a leader, a sovereign, or a person of true power. Do they apologize for the air they breathe? No. They own the space they inhabit. The next time you feel the urge to apologize for something that requires no apology, replace it with thank you. Instead of sorry I'm late, say thank you for waiting. Instead of sorry for the long email, say thank you for taking the time to read this. The first is a plea for forgiveness. The second is a command for appreciation. One positions you as a child who has misbehaved. The other positions you as a person whose time and thoughts have value. Stop asking for permission to be here. You are already here. Act like it. Phase 3, the curse of explanation. The submission of justification. Most people never realize that the person who explains the most is the person with the least power. When you are asked a question or when you make a decision, your nice instinct is to provide a long, detailed list of reasons why. You want people to understand you. You want them to agree with your logic. You want their okay. This is the trap. The moment you begin to over-explain yourself, you are admitting that the other person is your judge. You are placing your decision on their scales, waiting to see if they find it worthy. Power lives in the unspoken. Sovereignty is the ability to say no without a because. Imagine a king. When he denies a request, does he provide a 20-minute PowerPoint presentation on his reasoning? No. He simply says no. The no is the end of the conversation, not the beginning of a negotiation. When you justify your actions to people who have no authority over you, you are leaking power. You are signaling that you are not confident in your own judgment. You are inviting them to find holes in your logic, to argue with you, and ultimately, to sway you. This is the paradox. The more you explain, the weaker you look. The less you say, the more weight your words carry. Silence is a power tool. When you give a decision, give it cleanly. If you cannot attend an event, say, I won't be able to make it. If someone asks why, a simple, it's not possible, is more than enough. You do not owe the world a map of your internal world. Your reasons are your own. To share them is to give them away. To withhold them is to maintain your mystery and your dominance. This is not being rude. This is being self-contained. The nice person is an open book that no one wants to read. The sovereign is a closed door that everyone wants to look behind. Phase 4, the peace of the graveyard, the cowardice of conflict avoidance. You tell yourself you are a peacemaker. You hate drama. You want everyone to get along. You swallow your anger, hide your disagreements, and nod along to ideas you find repulsive, all in the name of keeping the peace. Here is the reality you are avoiding. A peace that is bought with your silence is not peace. It is submission. It is a slow-acting poison that kills your soul and destroys your respect in the eyes of others. The nice person thinks that by avoiding conflict, they are being liked. But humans do not respect those they can walk over without resistance. If you never stand for anything, you are perceived as having no spine. If you have no spine, you are not a person, you are a floor mat. Conflict is not an evil to be avoided. It is a crucible of respect. The moment you challenge someone calmly, directly, and without apology, you signal that you have boundaries. You signal that there is a line that cannot be crossed. People may not like the conflict in the moment, but they will respect the person who is brave enough to engage in it. Think of the people you respect most. Are they the ones who always agree with you? Or are they the ones who have the courage to tell you when you are wrong? Respect is earned in the moments where you risk being disliked. If you are afraid to be disliked, you will never be respected. You are trading your long-term status for short-term comfort. This is a losing trade. The nice man's peace is the peace of the graveyard, cored and dead. The sovereign's peace is the peace of the armed border maintained through the clear and present ability to defend what is theirs. Do not seek to be liked by everyone, seek to be respected by the right people. And respect requires the willingness to say no, the willingness to walk away, and the willingness to let the room get uncomfortably quiet while you hold your ground. Phase 5, the mirror narcissism, the void of over-agreeableness. There is a specific kind of nice behavior that is actually a form of psychological dishonesty, the habit of agreeing with everyone. You do it to be agreeable. You do it to fit in. You mirror the opinions of whoever you are talking to. If they like X, you like X. If they hate Y, you hate Y. You think this makes you charismatic. You think this makes you a people person. In reality, it makes you a ghost. When you agree with everyone, your opinion becomes worthless. If you are a mirror, people don't look at you. They look through you to see themselves. You have no gravity. You have no edge. This is why nice people are often described as boring. There is no friction in a conversation with them. There is no there. You are a blank slate. And while that might be safe, it is never powerful. Power comes from distinction. It comes from having a perspective that is uniquely yours, even if, especially if it clashes with the consensus. The moment you disagree with the room, you become the most interesting person in it. You have signaled that your internal compass is stronger than the external pressure to conform. This is the mark of a leader. This is the mark of someone who is not a pawn. Most people are terrified of being different. They find safety in the herd. But the herd is always led to the slaughter. If you want respect, you must be willing to stand alone in your truth. This is the part most people miss. People don't need you to agree with them to respect you. They need to see that you have a mind of your own. They would rather deal with an honest enemy than a dishonest, nice person. Stop being a mirror. Start being a stone, unyielding, distinct, and impossible to ignore. Phase 6, the transactional mask, the deception of unsolicited help. Here is the part most people miss. Your kindness is often a hidden tax. You pride yourself on being the person who goes the extra mile. You do favors no one asked for. You solve problems that aren't yours to solve. You give, and you give, and you give, waiting for the world to notice and repay you in the currency of appreciation. But appreciation never comes. Instead, you are met with indifference, or worse, expectation. This is the brutal truth. Unsolicited help is not an act of love. It is an act of manipulation. You are creating covert contracts, unspoken agreements where you do something nice and the other person now owes you respect, attention, or affection. Since they never signed this contract, they never fulfill it. And so, you become the martyr. You become the resentful giver, poisoning your own environment with the toxicity of your unmet expectations. Power is never transactional in the way the weak imagine. The sovereign knows that to give without being asked is to lower your status. It signals that you are seeking a way into someone's good graces. It signals that you are trying to buy your way into the hierarchy because you don't believe you belong there by right. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He noted that men are ungrateful, fickle, and deceptive. If you base your power on the favors you do for others, you are building your house on shifting sand. The moment you stop giving, the friendship dissolves. You haven't built respect, you have built a dependency that people will eventually despise you for. Think of the nice person in the office who stays late to help a colleague who didn't ask. Does that colleague respect them? No. They view them as a convenient tool. They view them as someone whose time is less valuable than their own. The sovereign response is different. The sovereign helps only when it aligns with their mission or when the help is requested and the terms are clear. They do not leak value into the world hoping for a return. They are the source. If you want their help, you must approach the throne. If you are currently doing things for people who have not asked, stop. Immediately, watch what happens. The people who actually value you will remain. The parasites who are only there for the free samples of your energy will vanish. Let them. Your circle will shrink, but its density and the respect within it will explode. Phase 7. The harmless lie, the illusion of moral superiority. You have been brainwashed to believe that being harmless is the same as being virtuous. You avoid confrontation. You speak softly. You never offend. You tell yourself this is because you are a good person. You look at the aggressive or dominant individuals with a sense of moral superiority, calling them arrogant or rude. Here is the paradox. There is no virtue in being peaceful if you are incapable of violence. If you have no teeth, your choice not to bite is meaningless. It's not niceness, it's a lack of options. The world does not respect the sheep because the sheep is kind. The world respects the lion because the lion could kill but chooses to be still. Your nice behavior is often just a symptom of your own impotence. You aren't choosing to be respectful. You are afraid of the consequences of being anything else. This is the ultimate nice behavior that is ruining your respect. The refusal to be dangerous. The Stoics were not soft men. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth, commanding legions that could erase cities. When he spoke of kindness, it carried weight because he had the power to be cruel. His restraint was a choice. Yours is a necessity. When you are too nice, you signal to the world that you are a safe target. You signal that there is no cost to crossing you. And in a world governed by power dynamics, a person with no cost is a person with no value. To be respected, you must possess a shadow. You must be someone who could be difficult, who could be formidable, who could walk away and never look back. Only then does your kindness mean anything. Only then is your politeness seen as a gesture of high-status diplomacy rather than low-status submission. Stop trying to be good by being weak. Start being strong and then choose to be civil. There is a world of difference between the two. The nice man is a victim in waiting. The sovereign is a controlled force of nature. Which one are you? If you are honest with yourself, the answer will hurt, but that pain is the only thing that can wake you up. The architecture of the new self. We have dismantled the pillars of your previous identity. We have exposed your niceness as fear, your helpfulness as manipulation, and your peace as cowardice. Most people will hear this and retreat. They will find comfort in the very lies that are currently destroying them. They will say this is too dark or too cynical. They will return to their lives of being overlooked and undervalued, clinging to their goodness like a life raft in a shark-infested ocean. But you are not most people. If you have listened this far, it is because you recognize the truth in these words. You feel the resonance of a reality you've always known existed, but were told to ignore. The transition from a nice person to a sovereign individual is not a change in behavior, it is a change in frequency. It is about moving from a state of reaction to a state of action. The nice person reacts to the world. They react to the needs of others, the opinions of others, and the rules of others. The sovereign defines the world. They set the terms. They command the space. This requires a period of isolation. You cannot become a sovereign while still tethered to the people who benefit from your weakness. You must be willing to let those relationships burn. You must be willing to be the bad guy in someone else's story so that you can finally be the hero in your own. The price of sovereignty, this knowledge, has a cost. The cost is your innocence. You can no longer pretend that your failures are due to the unfairness of the world. You can no longer blame others for taking advantage of you. If you are exploited, it is because you have made yourself exploitable. If you are disrespected, it is because you have modeled to the world that you do not respect yourself. Here is where it flips. This realization is not a burden, it is the ultimate freedom. If you are the cause of your lack of respect, then you are also the solution. You don't need to wait for the world to change. You don't need a promotion, a new car, or a higher status. You only need to change the way you occupy your own skin. Power is not something that is given, it is something that is taken. And it is taken first from within. You must become a ghost to your old self. You must let the version of you that apologized for existing die. You must stop seeking validation from people who are themselves lost in the fog of their own mediocrity. When you stop being nice, you will notice something fascinating. People will initially be unsettled. They will try to pull you back into your old role. They will use guilt. They will use shaming. They will use the word changed as if it were an insult. You've changed, they will say. You've changed. They will say, yes, you will reply, I have no explanation, no apology, just the cold, hard fact of your evolution. And then, slowly, the tide will turn. The very people who used to overlook you will start to watch you. The people who used to talk over you will start to listen. The world will begin to reorganize itself around your new, unyielding center. This is the hidden operating system of the world. Respect is not a reward for being good. It is a reaction to being real. The final transformation. The person who began this video is gone. If you have understood these 7 laws, the nice version of you has already begun to dissolve. You are standing at a threshold. On one side is the life you have known, comfortable, predictable, and utterly devoid of power. On the other side is the life of the sovereign, lonely at first, dangerous, but filled with a level of respect and autonomy that most men will never experience. The masses will continue to play the game of niceness. They will continue to complain about being friend-zoned, underpaid, and ignored. They will continue to seek the secret to success, never realizing that the secret is sitting right in front of them, hidden behind their own fear of being seen as not nice. You are no longer one of them. You have been given the keys to the engine. But knowing how the engine works is not the same as driving the car. From this moment on, every interaction you have is a test. Every time you feel the urge to apologize, to over-explain, to agree, or to offer unsolicited help, you are at a crossroads. You can choose the old path of the pawn or the new path of the ruler. Do not expect this to be easy. Your biology is wired for the herd. Your childhood conditioning is wired for the gold star of approval. You are fighting against your own instincts. But this is where discipline lives. Discipline is the ability to choose your long-term sovereignty over your short-term comfort. It is the ability to sit in the tension of someone else's disapproval and not flinch. If you can do that, you will be unstoppable. Your old self was a construct of societal expectations. It was a suit of armor that was actually a cage. It served a purpose, it kept you safe, but it also kept you small. It is time to bury that version of you. The nice guy or nice girl is dead. Do not mourn them. They were a lie. They were the mask you wore to hide your fear of your own potential. The person you are becoming doesn't need a mask. They are defined by their edges, their boundaries, and their unwavering commitment to their own truth. Most people will watch this video and do nothing. They will find it interesting. They might even like it, but they will go back to their habitual submissiveness the moment the screen goes dark. They are the background noise of history. You are different. You are here because you are ready to pay the price. You are the elite few who understand that the social hierarchy is not a meritocracy of goodness, but a battlefield of will. By making it this far, you have already separated yourself from the 99% of people who live and die as convenient shadows. This is the moment of alignment. If you are ready to discard the nice behaviors that have been poisoning your life, if you are ready to step into the cold light of sovereignty, I want you to signal it. Comment below with one word: sovereign. Do not add context. Do not explain why. Do not thank me. Just the word. It is a contract with yourself, witnessed by others who are on the same path. It is the first step in reclaiming your space. If you are looking for comfort, if you are looking for someone to tell you that you're perfect just the way you are in the wrong place. There are 1,000 other channels that will feed you that poison. But if you want to continue the process of re-engineering your mind, if you want to understand the dark mechanics of power and the brutal reality of human nature, then stay. Subscribing to this channel is not a way to support content. It is a commitment to your own evolution. It is a daily reminder that you are no longer a pawn in someone else's game. The choice is yours. Stay in the warmth of the lie or step into the cold of the truth. The door is open. Walk through it.